greatest threat to freedom is the absence of criticism. Those were the words of Wole Soyinka. It's on this note I welcome you to yet another exciting episode and from the Ivory Tower. My name is Omotayo Alo, and today we are at the Olabisi Onabanjo University, and we'll be doing an interview with a doctor from the Department of Religious Studies. His name is Dr. Adebayo Akani. But before we go to the interview segment, we spoke to some students on some of the national issues we discussed, and this is what they have to say.
I know we can't compare ourselves with America because America is far older than us, but at least it started from somewhere. And I believe we can also start from somewhere. You understand? We take away this selfish attitude of ours, we take away this greed of ours, everything will be all right.
Our government should please just find something to do about this.
What I think is that if any governor, no matter how highly placed the person is indicted of any crime, automatically the process of the law is there to be followed. And once that particular something has been done, then justice will be done.
The bottom line is leadership. The major problem we have in Nigeria is leadership. You understand? If people take responsibility for what their positions, wherever they are, there won't be any problem.
Those were the views of the students of Olabisi Onabanjo University. It's time to go on with our interview session with Dr. Adebayo Akani. Stay with us. We've come to the interview session on the program today, and like you know, I am in the Olabisi Onabanjo University, and my guest for today is from the Department of Religious Studies. Hey, sir.
Good day.
It's nice having you on the program.
You're welcome.
Yes.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Let's start with what you're really involved in, which is Islamic studies.
No.
Okay, Nigeria, for what it is a multi-religious society.
Yeah.
And for you as an Islamic scholar, what, in your view, could you think the country could do to sustain peace in a multi-religious society?
Well, in point of fact, I would say fairness, justice, and whatever that means to anybody. Nobody wants to be cheated. But in a situation where some people are treated on the basis of their color, on the basis of their race, on the basis of their religion, on the basis of their ethnic belonging, then there will not be peace. There will definitely be trouble in such a society. So the problem we have in this country is because we don't have fair treatment of all the parties involved in terms of ethnicity, in terms of religion, in terms of even political affiliation. Where you have discrimination, then there cannot be justice, there cannot be fairness. So if we want peace in this country, then let there be justice, let there be fairness.
All right. Yeah. So on what you just said now, we could remember that when the insurgents came into the country, they came in on the platform that they were fighting a war for Allah, killing people and stuff. But over time, we saw Muslim scholars coming up to say that these people are just simply terrorists. So for insurgents to use the basis of religion to attack the country, to come and inflict terror on the country, what do you think about this?
It's unfortunate we have the situation we have found ourselves on our hands. What we refer to as Boko Haram today, investigations have revealed that the people who are members of this group did not just come up in a day to start fighting or killing people. In the Quran, there are instructions as to forming groups to advance the cause of Islam. There is a verse of the Holy Quran, Quran chapter 3, verse 104, Quran chapter 3, verse 110, that's 110. These two verses particularly urge Muslims to come together as groups, calling people to the way of Allah, advancing the cause of Islam, admonishing people to be righteous and forbidding them of evil deeds. So those people referred to today as Boko Haram, we have found out that they came together as a group with a view to advancing the cause of Islam based on these Quranic instructions. But unfortunately, members of the group became militarized along the way, possibly because of the brutality of the police. security agents in the country. So now that we have found ourselves in the situation in which we have found ourselves, like I said, it's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
The members of the group, aimed at advancing the cause of Islam, but along the line they became militarized. Whatever the cause of that, we will not know. But you cannot divorce the fact that they started as a group aiming to advance the cause of Islam.
Okay,
And that
how
is
do you
what
mean advance?
Advance in terms of, if you want to ask somebody to do good, to be righteous, you are advancing the cause of Islam.
Okay.
If you want somebody to stop drinking alcohol, to stop humanizing, you are advancing the cause of it. It is called Dawah in Islam. And the original name of this group, as we have come to know, is Jama'atu al-Sunnah li-Dawat wal-Jihad, meaning the people of the way of the Prophet calling for the advancement of the cause of Islam. So they started like that, but unfortunately they have become militarized. But whatever their reasons for doing what they are doing, I think this is too much. In a country where we have, innocent citizens being killed, just for whatever reason, I think they should bury their ashes and let us come to the round table. It is better to judge than to war. And that is why I am going to seize this opportunity to call on government to still see the possibility of dialoguing with these people. It is, as far as I'm concerned, the best way out to resolving this issue. That is why I commend former President Olusegun Obasanjo for initiating that idea, for even, offering himself to mediate between the group and the government. The earlier we do that, the better for Nigeria.
All right, thank you, sir.
There is no way we can continue to fight if these people are ready to die.
But is that what Islam really preaches?
Well, in a way, not necessarily by killing people, but if in the course of struggling for anything, it's just like the concept of martyrdom. You see, the whole activities of Boko Haram can be understood within 4 concepts of dawah, which is, struggling to advance the cause of Islam, calling people to Islam, the concept of jihad, which is also striving to advance the cause of Islam, then the concept of warfare, and that of martyrdom.
But,
so,
sorry, let me cut you short.
Yes.
Calling people to Islam, for them to continue bombing activities in the month of Ramadan, does that really depict what
whether
Islam
in the month of Ramadan or any other month, it is unfortunate that is not what the calling for Islam entails. It is not at all, either in the month of Ramadan or what. Even either concerning Muslim or non-Muslim, it is not. Calling to the way of Islam, what Nasrat is doing is calling to the way of Islam. But Nasrat is not bombing anywhere. What Qorib is doing is calling to the way of Islam. But Qorib is not bombing anywhere. What Ahmadiyya Jama is doing is calling to the way of Islam. But none of them is bombing anywhere or killing anybody. So what these organizations are doing is equally jihad, is equally dawah. So what they are doing is not in any way what Islam is saying, but we like I said, is a combination of so many things, which can be understood within the concept of, okay, we are friends before, and now Yoruba will say Ijatide, Oridowe. So Ijatide, that is why they don't care about what they do, which is also wrong within the purview of Islam. In Islam, you don't kill women even in war. You don't kill children. But the way they are going about it, killing anybody, entering into villages and killing everybody. So that is why it is wrong to say that whether in the month of Ramadan or not, or whether they are killing Christians or killing Muslims. No, which is not the case anyway, at all.
Yes.
So you understand the point I'm making.
Let's move on to this. A one-time presidential candidate, Pati Tomi, has accused the media of deepening the fear of the Boko Haram sect in the hearts of many Nigerians. What do you really think about this? Well,
I will look at it from 2 perspectives. One, I will see the media as doing its job.
Okay.
Members of the media are reporting what they have seen. But what I will say is that when you do this, the Yoruba will say, meaning that there is a way of saying this. Yoruba will say, like I said earlier, ọ̀rọ̀ tútù ló ń yọ obì nínú apó. Ọ̀rọ̀ gbígbóná yọ obì idà nínú akọ. You can report the same thing in different ways. Don't galvanize violence. So what Nigerian media is doing is galvanizing violence, exaggerating, instead of reporting the violent aspect of it.
Can you cite instances, sir?
Well, this horror of a thing, you don't necessarily have to put this on your front pages. The print media, for example, and for the electronic media, if you are going to show scenes like this, prepare the mind of those that are the viewers, that what you are going to listen to could be horrifying, so that parents could ask their children to excuse them from the living room where they are watching the television. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, but what are you teaching the children if you are showing heads being cut?
I don't think the media show that. They don't show.
But we have this on the pages of the newspaper.
The newspapers, okay.
We have this on the pages of the newspaper, right. And possibly with a view to making sales. So what we are interested in is tell us what has happened, and probably take the details into the inside pages for those who care to read more. But 70 people killed in a bomb blast. It's enough to say there was a bomb blast last night.
Yes, but a follow-up on this is that most of the time when some Nigerians comment on this, they always say that they want to be aware of all that is happening. Right. They accuse the government and the press of not giving them the full details of how the Boko Haram story is been going. So if the people want more information of this, what should the media do?
There is nothing wrong in the media reporting the same thing. Right. But what you will discover is that one media will say 70 people killed, another one will say 150. So which is the actual figure? This is where I have problem with the media. So let us be very, very accurate in our reporting of events. Speculative journalism should be avoided. And this, I think, is the major problem with the Nigerian media. Okay. So if our media will go a little bit further in ascertaining what has actually happened before rushing to the press, then that will go a long way in improving the image, the corporate image of the Nigerian media before Nigerians and even the outside world. Variations like this you also see in BBC, between BBC News, Al Jazeera, but not as many as, say, between 150.
All right.
Some will say 80, another will say maybe 81, 82. But Nigeria is going to be like, say, 70 and 150.
Okay, so if the media are more accurate in their report, do you think that would douse the fear of Nigerians?
More accurate, more humane in reporting events. Humane, and I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Humane in the sense that tell us be humane in the way you present it, not necessarily, making it horrifying.
Okay.
That is the worry there.
All right. Okay, so they should more like package the news well to...
Yes, in such a way that the one reading it will be sympathetic, not necessarily be panicking as to, what have we gotten into in this country.
All right.
You're welcome.
Right now, we want to take a short break on the program. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Core TV News presents a platform with presence in over 30 states of the Federation. Be sure to be had. For live coverage of events, we have the capacity to deliver from anywhere in Nigeria and beyond. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733, 014-533-407.
Our 24-hour news station.
You're still on to From the Ivory Tower, and we just want to continue the discussion we've been having with Dr. Adebayo of the Olabisi Onabanjo University. Over to you, sir.
You're welcome.
Let's move on to the reactions trailing Iyako's impeachment. we found out that a lot of sectors are insisting that Nyako should be impeached, even when we see some heads of state, former heads of states, pleading on his behalf for those in authorities to forgive for what he has done. But some are still insisting.
Let me cut you short. Forgive what? Do we have this spirit of forgiveness in our constitution? Did this man not swear to the constitution, to protect the constitution? The question is this man guilty of the offenses for which he is being persecuted and prosecuted? This is the issue. The members of the House of Assembly have accused him of, gross misconduct, embezzling, inflation of contracts, and things like that. And the former Chief Justice of the state, I think, set up a committee to investigate that, and the committee has submitted this report. If truly the man is guilty of these offenses, let him be taken through the process that the law has stipulated. Why are we calling for forgiveness? Over what? We do this constitution ourselves. We believe the constitution will pay us. So this man swore to protect this law, to protect the constitution, and once he has been found guilty of one offense or the other as stipulated by the law, then let him face the music. So it's not a matter of either one party begging for him or another one. This is the problem we have in this country. So if in every state people will beg for forgiveness for everyone, then people will do things with impunity, all sorts of things. Anybody will do anything and will go away with it. How many of the former governors have been jailed by EFCC despite prosecutions? Even the ones that have been prosecuted. Now they are begging for forgiveness for this one. Remember James Ibori? The offenses for which he was discharged and acquitted in Nigeria were the same offenses for which he was jailed in another country. So what are we talking about? This is a country, for God's sake, where somebody will be guilty of corruption and what have you, will be jailed even for 2 years or for whatever, and members of a particular political party will go and buy clothes, Ashoebi, will dance to welcome him from where? Whereas in other countries, these people will voluntarily resign for even being accused of such, not necessarily being prosecuted. And here we have former heads of state, former president begging for somebody over what? So if as a member of the university community, I am found guilty of whatever, so my father will come and beg for me, and they will allow me to go scot-free. For God's sake, this is the problem we are having in this country. Corruption. Just because they once found themselves in such a situation, and that's why they are begging for him. And they put him there. This is the problem of godfatherism in politics. Those that are begging for him are actually the one behind his election in the first instance, and he was serving his interest, their interest, and is possibly still serving their interest, and they want that interest to continue to be served, and that's why they are begging for him. So why must they? If we actually elected this man, and he has offended us, as we have indicated in the constitution, then let him face the music. But the fact that they are begging for him means that they are the one who actually put him there. So I put it to Nigerians, to INEC of that time, that Nyako did not win that election. If he actually won that election, then the people of that state, as expressed through the constitution, are saying he must face the music.
All right. Speaking on justice, let's look at the issue of pensioners in Nigeria. You know, when I think of pensioners, I just feel this sad feeling, because you hear a lot of times that some of these pensioners go for their entitlement and some of them die in the process. It's either you are hearing a case of their money has been embezzled by a particular political leader, or their entitlement has been slashed, or one thing or the other. So what do you think? How can Nigeria go out of this problem? Why should our elder statesmen continue to solve
this? This is another problem Nigeria is facing. For God's sake, in the developed countries, they are agitating for reduction in the age of service from 60 to 58. Why Nigerians are agitating for increase in this age of... Yes. ASU has just, fought and succeeded in gaining additional 5 years for professors in the universities. And this is where the people are getting it wrong. Getting to 70 years before retirement is just for the professors alone. Whoever attains that feat before retirement will go as far as 70 years, not for every other lecturer. So if you are not a professor, you will retire at 65. But why are we calling for this? It's because of systemic failure. Our system has failed us. Why? When you go to the other countries, they retire even before the stipulated age of retirement. Their laws are being reviewed to reduce it from 60 to 58. But here in Nigeria, this is where you will see a 70-year-old man claiming to be 55. Doctoring his age. Why? Because he's not sure of what will be coming up after retirement, life after retirement. Somebody somewhere is already embezzling the money. We have reviewed our laws several times. I can only appeal to the conscience of Nigerians, civil servants, public servants, anybody. Let us be God conscious. Let us remember that whatever we acquire, we are not going to take them to heaven. We will leave everything in this world. And that can come at any time. I'm speaking from theological point of view now, because I know laws has more or less failed us. We have kept on reviewing our laws year in, year out. When was the law reviewed? During the Obasanjo regime. And now we still find people embezzling, 6 people coming together to take some $22 million, 22 billion naira. So it's not about law, it's about conscience. So we can only appeal to our consciousness. Then again, I will call on the law enforcement agents to really, it's one thing to have the law, it's another thing to implement it. Let the judiciary be alive to its responsibility. This former pension chairman or whatever who was fined 750,000 naira after confessing to stealing about 2 billion naira, and you just find him 750 million. What percentage? What percent? But that is our law. The law has given the man, the judge, to use his discretion to punish him. This calls for a review of some of our laws to meet modern challenges. And thank God, the House of Assembly is up to the task. National Assemblies, they are reviewing the law. But beyond the law, let everybody realize that it's not about materialism. It's about what you are able to make of life in terms of heaven and in terms of what people will say after you. There is an adage in Arabic that says, "Innamal marihu ahadithun ba'dahu kun hadisan hasanan liman waha," meaning that everybody will become history for people to relate, urging you to be good history for those who will be talking about you.
As we round off for today, you've talked about letting conscience be the basis, because there's a life after death and everyone should be conscious about it. But what's your word to people involved in, because the thing is that people hear these words day in, day out, but they persist in all of this, and it's so saddening. So what's your word to them?
I will talk about the Boko Haram insurgency. It's an appeal. Life is sacred. It's unfortunate when people talk about Islam and Boko Haram. The press will say the militant Islamic sect, Boko Haram. I've told people it's a fear statement. Fear in the sense that they are truly portraying themselves as Muslims. But what they are doing is not Islamic. The Quran says, whoever kills a soul unjustly is like killing the entire human race. And whoever saves a soul is like saving the entire human race. For God's sake, how many innocent souls have been taken by these members of Boko Haram? Innocent, for that matter. So what we are talking about is please and please, let us accept hands of fellowship from the federal government. Let the federal government also offer them what you call amnesty. Let us sit down and resolve whatever the grievances are. That is my appeal to government. That's my appeal to members of the Boko Haram over the Boko Haram insurgency. Let us stop this innocent killing. That is one. To Nigerians, I will implore them to put Nigeria first, but next after God. God first, Nigeria next. There is a statement that the love of a country is part of your faith. That is what my religion teaches. So let's have the love of our country. Every American talks about God bless America. Do we say that? Youth of today will say, no, what has Nigeria offered me that I will be blessing her? So if you don't bless her, curse her, and you are cursing yourself. So let us put this country ahead of us, the interest of the nation before personal interest. So once we have that, then this nation will move forward, and that's my appeal to everybody, youths, politicians, the elder statesmen, everybody, including our corrupt leaders.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
And I'm sure everyone has heard your appeal. And the next point of line should be implementation, like we emphasized in the program today. And from the Ivory Tower today, we are particular about educating you, informing you, and of course, entertaining you. That's why I would have you see our code session for today. And that was our code for today. Do well to join me next time on the program. It's from the Ivory Tower. Keep enjoying. My name, Omwatayo Alo. Bye for now.